I'd bet my bottom dollar that Brett Kavanaugh's got a pistol in his house. And I'd bet he's really glad he does tonight. Think about that. Because you don't have U.S. Marshals outside your home. Earlier tonight, we had a very interesting conversation with Senator Ted Cruz about all this. Take a look. All right, Senator Cruz, thank you so much for coming on. It's good to see you. I want to just start. I want to get your reaction to the arrest today of Nicholas John Roski. Cops say he had a knife, he had a gun, zip ties, and he had Brett Kavanaugh's home address. What's your reaction to this?
Well, look, it is just horrific. And unfortunately, it is the predictable effect from the radical and unhinged rhetoric, the extreme rhetoric that is coming from the far left and that is coming from Chuck Schumer, that is coming from Joe Biden and this White House. You know, Chuck Schumer went to the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court. And here's what he said on the steps of the Supreme Court. He said, I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you. And by the way, the Biden White House was not any better when asked about violent protesters threatening justices' families at their homes. Here's what Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, said, quote, and we certainly continue to encourage that outside of judges' homes, and that's the president's position. So what Jen Psaki encouraged is literally a felony. It is illegal to go and protest and picket outside a judge's home when a case is pending. And the White House is encouraging their radical supporters to do this. And sadly, this attempted violence, this attempted murderer that was targeting a U.S. Supreme Court justice, trying to change the outcome of a Supreme Court decision, it is shameful, it is a threat to our rule of law, and it is the direct and predictable consequences of the unhinged rhetoric from the far left.
You know, it's so true, and the sad reality is it's not surprising. I mean, it takes you right back to 2020 when they did this all over the idea that the country is inherently racist and all cops are racist and cops spend their days just trying to figure out ways to kill black people. They stirred up enough mayhem to cause a crisis in this country, and police were executed, businesses were burned. They do all of this for the political benefit of it, and we see it time and time again. I can't believe that we live in a country where politicians can stoop so low.
Yeah, unfortunately, the radical left encourages violence. You're exactly right. You looked at the Antifa and the Black Lives Matter riots in 2020, where you saw people being physically assaulted, stores being looted, police cars being firebombed, police officers being murdered. And you saw Democrats not only not condemning it, but celebrating the rioting, celebrating the violence, going so far. Kamala Harris, the vice president of the United States, raised bail money to bail the violent rioters out of jail. This is today's radical and extreme left, as they embrace crimes of violence if it supports their political positions. And that should be absolutely unacceptable. Violence is never okay. Whatever the political ideology, this kind of violence is wrong.
Right. And I mean, you say radical left. I mean, I almost excuse it more from people that would consider themselves radical left. When you hear it from the White House, when you hear it from people like Chuck Schumer, who's been in the Senate forever, and they're just pushing this, and then it happens, where are they now? You know, I mean, it's their rhetoric that leads to this, and there's no accountability, and we're just supposed to move on from it. It's terrifying that we've gotten to that place politically in this country.
Well, and listen, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing, and I believe that's the reason this draft opinion was leaked. I think it is very, very likely that it was leaked by a left-wing law clerk who wanted to subvert the integrity of the Supreme Court. This has never happened in the history of our country. Over 2 centuries, our country's history, we've never had a draft Supreme Court opinion leaked. And I think it is the fruit of the Democrats' multi-year effort to politicize the Supreme Court, to intimidate the justices, and to try to scare them, bully them, threaten them into voting the way the Democrats want. And it is wrong. It is a threat to the rule of law. It's a threat to your and my constitutional rights. And I don't see any Democrats today taking even one tiny shred of responsibility for the whirlwind, to use Schumer's words, that they have unleashed.
It is something else. I want to ask you real quick, the January 6th committee, the clown show as we're calling it over here, happening tomorrow night. We're going to cover it here on Newsmax. We're going to expose it for what it really is. We're going to cover it with a lot of analysis tomorrow night. What exactly do you expect to see? They're saying that, I mean, is it going to fall flat again?
Well, listen, I got to say, I think your comment is really unfair to clowns. It's not right to blame clowns for the idiocy of Pelosi and the Democrats. This is theater. It's designed to be theater, right down to they brought in a Hollywood producer. This is it's not unlike watching the Democratic National Convention, which is a slick propaganda machine. You know, I don't watch the DNC convention because I don't believe in the ideas they're pushing. That's what this hearing is going to be. And it is going to sadly have the warm and enthusiastic embrace of the corrupt corporate media. You know, the New York Times just observed, said this hearing is a chance for Democrats to change the midterm narrative. Well, for once, the New York Times accidentally reported the truth because they admitted this is all about politics. This is a campaign ad.
It's exactly what it is. I love that the New York Times said that, and they didn't even realize how stupid the comment was from their side. Senator Cruz, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks. Appreciate it.